CDs heard was sent to USA, and that was back in '92, and everything, yeah, and then Brandon Lee,
Yeah, that was cut off.
Bruce Lee's son died, and
This is
it
another.
was
This is gonna be part
not
two.
really shocking for me because being a 16-year-old kid back then, it was like, when you're like 16, you're like going to school, you're like,
Yeah, so I'll continue to where my phone died. So actually, something strange just happened just now. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. Okay, the rain was raining heavily, right? So my phone, I don't know, it just sort of like died off, and I was talking about when I was 16, back in '92, The Crow, and I was actually going on and on and on, but I didn't realize that my phone died. So I checked, it was actually dead. So I had to like prove it to you that yeah, I'm this is still live. And actually, I think I got the date wrong. It's October October 13, 2018 today, right now. It's 4:59 a.m. It's gonna be 5 a.m. soon, okay? And yes, the rain has like, if you hear, right, it's currently right now just soothing down a bit. Not, it's like not going too heavy. Just now it was like blaring heavy, and I did hear some dogs barking. Strange. I've never heard that before. In my uh, life before, like staying here. I've stayed here for like I think about 20 years. Yeah, it rained, but I've never heard like dogs barking. Even maybe a bit. I think I did heard a bit of howling and barking just now, and then my phone died. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. Okay, and yeah, but strangely, right now the rain has sort of like cleared. So back to what I was talking. So I was 16, and I just got my first guitar, and I had my band going on, and Brandon Lee died. And to me, when I first got that guitar, right, that was before The Crow came out, before the movie came out, right? I was already like listening to bands like Sick of It All, Youth of Today, Shelter, really really old school 90s hardcore bands, because I had a friend, me, my childhood friend whom I knew since I was in kindergarten. Yeah, we stayed together, and when we were like when we were like 10, we started like exchanging cassette tapes, like, like if he had like MC Hammer, and I had like maybe Dino, or maybe if I had like Michael Schenker, or he had like whatever, we would meet like on the fifth floor of our apartment, and we would like exchange tapes. So I grew up with this guy, with my friend, since childhood. I knew him since kindergarten, and yeah. So as time progressed, yeah, he's the sort of guy like who got into trouble a lot, and he was the guy who suddenly one day like, hey, check this out, man, and he let me hear Still Skin inside, and then Ted inhale, Greasebox, Ted inhaler, and suddenly he like boom, and that's it. He like showed me a CD of New York, hardcore compilation and everything. And to me, it wasn't really like shocking or anything. It's just like music to me. It's just like guitars. All right, if you want to play that, like you want to, I asked you if you want to start a band playing like that. Okay, sure. I can learn that. And let's just play that. I was still young. I was still 16. I was in the military band. I played the drums, and yeah. So that was before the movie came out. And then I got that guitar. It was a black guitar. It was very cheap. It cost about 200 50 $280. It was a vintage. It was a vintage guitars, just a local brand, cheap vintage guitars. I mean, I self-taught myself on the guitar. I never had a teacher who like teach me where to press and everything. In fact, I learned the bar chords by myself. I figured it out by myself. Strangely, like something guided me or whatever. So yeah, back to Brandon Lee, and then I got the guitar, right, and then the movie came out, and to me it was just like, oh yeah, the movie The Crow, yeah, check it out, and then I got my first Windows computer. My uncle, he came to my house like, hey, you need a computer, man. It's like, yeah, we discussed with my mom and everything, and yeah, my mom said, yeah, sure, why not? Just give me a computer, to surf the internet, and I got my guitar and I got my computer, and he was the one who gave me the the VCD of The Crow. He bought it for me because I didn't know the movie came out in the theaters. Beforehand, I was pretty much in school. Doing my homework. I was pretty much not aware of what was going on in the real world. And my uncle just like such it was strange, like looking back it was strange, like he's like just like, hey, watch this movie, man, the Crow. My uncle right now, he's like on a cane walking, and he's like his knee, he's got he can like walk properly. It's like he's really old right now. He used to be a sailor back when he was young. My family, I came from a family of sailors. My grandfather was a sea captain back in World War II, and then my uncle was a ship captain from my mom's side. And yeah, my last uncle, yeah, he was the one who gave me the computer, and then I got my guitar and everything. So I watched the movie The Crow, and to me it was just like a movie. And I watched the movie. Yeah, it's like at that time, being a 16-year-old kid in 1992, the Bruce Lee hype like wasn't really there yet. I didn't even knew about Bruce Lee's. I haven't even heard of him when I was 16, 15, or 14, or even 13. I do remember like funny Hong Kong movies from what's that guy name? Stephen Chow, that funny, because yeah, we do watch like on TVs, but it's seldom like Bruce Lee movies get shown on TV at late at night. And I mean the hype wasn't there yet when I was 16. So when the Crow came out, and then I was watching it, and then yeah, it was like surreal for me. It's like I seeing him playing the guitar and everything. But at that time, it was just like, oh, I was just playing the guitar. Oh, cool, man. I'm playing the guitar too. Yeah, man. It's like everything is just like, wow, inspiring for me. And then I started a band, and my band had a following, and yeah, huge following at the time. We played at like colleges. We played at underground gigs. We had like 100, 200 boys, like running from the And I remember one gig I played, right? My band played, right? We had like about 100 boys, all my age, ran from the staircase from this polytechnic hall room, ran and just crashed through the bouncers and everything, and just sang the song that I didn't write the song. My friend wrote the song. I was just playing the guitar. I was just playing the bar chords. I didn't even like face the crowd. I was like, wow, this is like fucking crazy, man. And that was like back in 1993. It was after his death. It was after Brandon Lee's death. And to me at that time, knowing about his death, it was like not really shocking or not really mysterious, because when you were a 16-year-old kid, you hear about someone from Hollywood die or something like that. Do you really like uh, pay attention or really dig into it? Like, I'm like turning 40. I'm gonna be 40 next year. January 21st is my birthday. I'm gonna be turning 40, because right now I'm like discovering a lot of things in my life. Right? Okay, so that is the Brandon Lee and Bruce Lee story. Okay, about the guitar and everything. Anyway, that guitar, too bad. I think I don't know what happened to the guitar. I think I gave it to a friend or something like that. I can't remember what happened to it. Yeah, yeah, we're still rolling. I still have much time, and yeah, and so back to my experience using spirit boxes, broadcasting on Last FM, right, and the weather, right, okay, and yeah, if you recall back, right, I did played some recordings of Alan Watts talking about to be aware of the melody, you know, and in his philosophy session or talk, right, he was talking about the melody and about a lot of things, man, and it like really opened up an avenue in my mind, like he was talking about be aware of the melody, and he was talking about Buddha, and he was talking about certain ways of religion, and he connects religion and modernization at that time, which was in the 60s. And I know Bruce Lee actually read a lot of books, and I know that most of his philosophy actually came from Alan Watts. Alan Watts, I think, is one of Bruce Lee's favorite philosopher. If you can see his picture, he has like one whole library of books and everything. So I can actually piece up his. I've listened to a lot of Bruce Lee interviews and everything. Right? I can actually find links of Alan Watts' philosophies and theories and everything in pieces of Bruce Lee's conversations. So the ideas were there, and everything. Yeah. So yeah, back to Alan Watts'